Good evening. It is Tuesday, May the 14th, about 6:30 p.m. This is meteorologist Shay Gibson with weather flow and leading edge weather for the CORA races. We're going to be doing a preliminary forecast for the Savannah Cup 2024. What it looks like, it looks a little light to start, but I think we got a little bit of wind to get through the race, definitely from the south, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. It looks like storm activity will hold off, looking pretty good so far, and we'll go day to day. We're still about 4 days out, but we will exact this as we go in time. I'll be seeing everybody at the Skippers meeting Thursday night. With that said, let me go ahead and put myself in the corner. This event is sponsored by Ashley Yachts. It's not too late to get in and sign up for it now. If you go to the CORA page here, the Charleston Ocean Racing Association, scroll down and you can sign up here. So this is where the information is for the race and the instructions and everything. And again, we'll be going over this Thursday night for the final forecast and the race ring or the rum line and where that's going to be and everything going on with it. So with that said, let me go ahead and just pop in the WPC surface map. Let's talk about what's going to happen here. We have low pressure exiting the Tidewater, or I'd say the Mid-Atlantic coast, as we get into overnight Thursday night. And that's going to bring a little bit of a westerly flow early. It looks like we just have weak high pressure down below this backdoor front, pinched in between a front and Florida. And so as we go forward, this front starts to fizzle out. So this backdoor front parks somewhere over the South Carolina Georgia border Friday morning and starts to fizzle. And what happens after that is we end up with, it looks like a segment of a warm front Friday night over into Saturday morning. This front could bring a little bit of fog. That would be the only thing I'm a little concerned about at this time. If it does culminate over the overnight period during light southerly flow, we could see some fogging activity. It just depends on what the relative humidity and the air temperature are going to be at that time. But it looks like a southerly flow overall as high pressure develops out in the Atlantic. You can't really see it. It's not a very robust high pressure, but the ridge axis for this well up here to the north. There's going to be a high pretty much positioning out here and another high ridging along the coast some point Saturday, which will drive the sea breezes up. But it looks like Friday afternoon could be a little bit light to start. So if we look at, we're going to take the Fort Sumter front range light here and select all models. We'll go out into Friday afternoon where there's a lot of agreement on a southerly flow of some sort. Could be south-southeast or southeast, but mostly south wind. Moving into the afternoon, we're looking like south-southeast wind pretty much in the 7 to 11 knot ranges as we get the race started, sometime between 2, 4, maybe 5 o'clock p.m. This is when the race is going to start off. We're looking at mainly a ridge axis situation with 7 to 11 knots to start, which isn't terrible. I do think there's room for improvement with that. If we get default ridging along the coastline, sometimes that sets up for a better sea breeze. So basically what happens is if you have weak high pressure aloft, there isn't really any predominant or dominant system in play. A lot of times we just get a heat fluxing that builds in along the coast. This is called default ridging, and it's basically like high pressure. It just sets up right along here with the heat between the land-sea interface, and it starts a southerly flow. And what happens after that is the sea breeze picks up on it, and we end up with a little bit more of a south or due south-southwest wind at 180 over to 190, maybe 200 degrees. By the time the races start in the afternoon, we could be looking at 190 to 200. I don't think it would go full 225, but I think we have potential to get up there in the 10 to 14 knot ranges in the late afternoon hours, late afternoon, evening. But the overnight hours, without the presence of cold front activity in the distance, that wind tends to not have any of the nocturnal jetting properties that it would at nighttime. Now, I'm going to be watching this frontal activity, warm front, very closely to see if this will impact the inversionary process at night. That may give us a little bit of nocturnal jet, but I don't think anything's going to happen until Saturday morning as far as the increase in southerly winds. And I'm really worried about things getting light overnight, a little bit of fog. But that's not going to be the call just yet. Just know things will change and be tuned into that. So the call for basically Friday afternoon for the start is south-southeast winds 7 to 11. There's potential for south or even south-southwest 10 to 14. We'll get into that. I'll probably do another video tomorrow night to start talking about more exacts in that realm, and then at the Skippers meeting Thursday night as well. Looking at the precip models going forward, we have Wednesday, we go into Thursday, and then we're moving into Saturday. It looks like we're going to be relatively rain-free through this period of weak high pressure. That you cannot rule out a few possible pop-up afternoon storms along the sea breeze front just inland. Is there going to be any west flow aloft to push those storms toward the coast? Yet to be determined. But that will be discussed as well tomorrow night and then Thursday. And it doesn't look like anything's going to move until overnight Saturday night into Sunday morning, I think we're going to see this clear out. This we do have that cold front that's pushing in. It should clear out by Sunday morning, and what that means is that we're going to see a westerly breeze on Sunday. Which, if you're going to be sailing back up the coast from Savannah to Charleston on Sunday, it does look favorable for 10 to 15 knots of wind to get back up the coastline on. So not too bad. It looks like anything that's going to fall is going to happen Saturday afternoon or evening, and then overnight and then clear out by Sunday morning, Sunday late morning. So that's a good thing. Moon phases this week. We're going to a first quarter moon, heading towards a gibbous moon, which means we're going to be going into neap tide phasing. Neap tide means higher than normal lows and lower than normal highs. So we get into Friday PM, we're only seeing a low tide of 1.8 feet, which is close to 2 feet, and then we're going to start getting out of the neap tide phasing slowly but surely Friday into Saturday. But really, there's only about a 2.5, or I'm say three, I'd say 3.5 foot swing between the tides, and we're going to be mostly on an outgoing tide, as high tide at Fort Sumter Front Range Light is going to be later in the afternoon. On Friday, it's going to be we're going to have incoming tide all the way through 4:46 p.m. So 10:21 to 4:46, you're going to have incoming tide with southerly winds to battle getting out of those jetties, or at least heading out towards the jetties, and then cutting down the coast. So that'll be something to be aware of. If we look at our nearshore wave prediction system, things look pretty good. I did look at this earlier, and let me just make sure as an update. It looks like everything updated on the 12th, so I'm looking for a fresh update on this product. But for now, it looks like the significant wave height on Friday does drop below 2 feet as we get into Friday afternoon and into Friday night into the Saturday morning. So we start to pick up Saturday with those southerly winds, with those south-southwest sea breezes kicking in, moderate values. But as far as Friday goes, we're looking at less than 2 feet within 5 to 10 nautical miles. We might have 2 feet out beyond 10 or 15 nautical miles, or out to the 18 nautical mile range. But it does look good. The only thing is the period is a little bit low. It's on the 6 or 7 second period at 1.5 to 2 feet. So maybe a little bumpy out there. However, with such light southerly winds in place, if there's anything at nighttime that drops below 7 or 8 knots, it likely will be even less than that. So not much of a dominant swell to speak of. So that's a good thing. I do encourage you always to look at the CORP buoys as you're underway. This will give you your Cap 2 wave heights in real time. And it updates very frequently, like every 5 minutes or so. So, I mean, you can look at this while you're out there. If you have your SAT feed in or your Wi-Fi, this is a great thing to have right here. If you have your laptop open, you can see your wave heights. Charleston wave heights at 20 or about 18 nautical miles out. Right now, 1.9 feet. But either way, this is a great product to have, and I'm happy to share that on the website, which I will do after this forecast. I'll put it there for your wave motion activity. High air temperatures are going to be in the mid 80s for the most part, all the way through. Looks like we're not going to get back to the summertime temperatures till next week, but very pleasant. Upper 60s at night. Might bring a light jacket just in case, and then mid 80s in the daytime. And that'll do for this forecast. Hope everybody will be joining us at the Skippers meeting on Thursday, and hopefully I'll see you there. But until tomorrow and Thursday, take care, and we'll be updating you shortly. Thank you.